Hello, everybody. We're so glad to have you here. And we're asking if you would please say hello in the comments so that we could see that you're here. Hello, Will, and hello, Rita. And I know we have some others coming, so it's a wonderful time to be together. Hi, Leslie. I'm so glad you're with me today.
Yeah, me too.
So we have some really good stuff to talk about. We're also experiencing things ourselves that we want to talk with you about because there are really a lot going on. So let us start first with the fact that we are going to be looking over the cards that we had from the month and doing a little bit more on that. Well, we had we have the spheres of intention, which is one of my favorites, and this is a really important one for the month. And then we all have turquoise. So let's start with spheres of intention, Leslie, and I'm just going to read one short bit from the spheres of intentions. I am inspiration that sparks into beads of creative light. So can you see how around the outer edge there are those beads of light? So inspiration sparks into beads of creative light. We're working with creative light. And then pulsing force sends a wealth of wisdom and ideas into the matrix of this light. So can you see that this is kind of like a matrix in here? It's how things are put together, how they're held together. Join this flow of creation through the fusion, the coming together of divine and human mind, in fully resonant cooperation. Fully resonant cooperation. So there is the brain, the things that we know, the things that we bring into this world based on our DNA. There are things that come through from our soul, and that soul is part of the divine mind. So when you bring those together, your experiences in human form and those things that you know as a soul, this is where you get this full cooperation between both, and that's where the creation comes together. So Leslie, let me hold it up while you comment on that and see what comes up for you on this.
Well, yeah, I definitely, see the colors in there that are that are just so helpful. It's that it's sort of a turquoise blue and the purple around it. Almost, I'm not sure if that's the indigo or if that's purple, but it looks kind of purple on my card. And just
in the center, you're talking about toward the center?
No, on the outside ring of bubbles.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to see those until you get up
and
close.
Yet the light streams out, in the white dots everywhere.
Yeah, that's cool.
So great, and the red color in the middle. I mean, there's so much energy to me in this one that allows us to realize how connected we are to each other, to the energies that are around us, and that when we put our intentions out there, they really do connect with what wants to happen.
Yeah.
The highest and best. So that's what occurs to me today about this one.
Well, one of the questions that came to me as we were preparing for this was, are you finding wisdom and ideas that are in the matrix of the light, and how can you be more receptive to that wisdom? And I don't know about anybody else, but I'd love to hear in the chat that how are you dealing with the things that are coming up that need to be released? Because I'm finding for me, and partly because I've said, I want these things to come up from the unconscious. And and I have a head cold, and I know it's part of that. And I've also felt overwhelmed with things that in normal times I would probably be able to handle. But it's really affecting us. And then how can we find and receive the wisdom in the middle of this? And for me, I have had to cut back on some things so that I'm not doing so much. And I am taking the qigong that Stacy offers, and I'm doing that 3 times a week. And I'm going back to something that I used to do, which is to sit with myself in the morning and allow things to come to me and do my journaling. So what are you seeing for you that makes a difference, Leslie?
I definitely think that I've had more input on just um, how we communicate, and I know we're working on that and as a group,
Yeah,
in leadership group, but um, just personally as well, that when things come up, I have to take time for them.
yeah,
I have to really sit down and been doing a lot of
yeah,
writing, a lot of
yeah,
journaling,
yeah,
and even then, sometimes it wants to come out and just move, just like walk around the house or put on some music and dance a little bit, or something. It's like something else just to help that energy move.
yeah,
And um, and using the colors with that is really helpful to I don't know, colors and movement together kind of come together for me lately.
yeah.
So that's been a little bit new for me, but I really like it. And um, yeah, that's that's one of the things that's happening for me.
One of the things that I really cherish now uh, with my new husband is it's not so new now, though. It's over a year and a half. But when I'm doing my exercises at night, he plays the piano. Oh my gosh, that is just so, it opens my heart. It
Mm-hmm.
just helps me feel so good. And doing exercises then is fun. So
Mhm.
I think as we find things that affect us that way, it's really important to remember to do them and
Yeah.
to be part of that. So, and of course, he really enjoys the appreciation that I have for his piano playing. So,
Yeah.
really good stuff. All right, so let's move on to the next thing that I had in here. Have you stepped into the flow of spheres of intentions,
Mm.
inspiration? And how would you put into words what the flow is of inspiration in this particular luminary?
Inspiration from, I mean, just from outside ourselves or inside ourselves, or
The flow has the inspiration in it, so it's sort of like if we don't get into the flow, we may miss some of the
yes,
inspiration.
yeah. Yeah, well, I think, like you said, taking time lately has been particularly helpful in slowing down enough to be in the flow. Sometimes for me, it's more than one time. I mean, several times a day. I sometimes just close my eyes and just say, okay, where am I in this flow? Am I in it? Am I resisting it? What's going on? And sometimes it just shows me anyway, especially if I'm resisting it. Then it goes, oh, have you noticed this? And so with that awareness, it comes back and lets me know that I am in the flow. I am, doing all I can do in that moment to be conscious of what's happening.
I think the flow in some ways has changed too.
Hmm.
So we can't stay in the assumption that it will be the same. We have to really be like curious, and just like we're in a new world we've never been in before. And how does this work now? How do I get to that flow now? And when these things are coming up to be released, uh, it doesn't feel like flow, but maybe it is the flow. Maybe it's exactly the flow that we need to get that out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, the flow is always calling us to me. It's always calling us. So it's always present, always there. And it's up to us to be able to go, oh yeah, yep, I want to be in that now and be in that
Absolutely.
throughout my day as I can. Yeah.
And it can be different. I'm finding that the energies are so much more um, nuanced and more uh, soft, maybe, or something. So it's like if you don't pay attention, you can miss it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think for me anyway, that means that I have to have quiet times. I have to take time aside and allow myself to feel inwardly to see what is there.
Hmm. Yeah. It can definitely be busy. And then,
Yeah,
you get focused on that. And then,
yeah. Well, I just want to respond to some of what's in the chat.
yeah.
And thank you all for sharing. So I see that Candy said that she's surprised by her reaction. And um, I find that it's really interesting because, I've been doing this for a very long time and releasing things. And then to find that I still have things that are in the unconscious is like, what? So I think that, and you have to have a sense of humor about
Oh,
it
for
because
sure.
if you get on yourself, it's just not working. So, and then Grace is here. Hi, Grace. So nice to see you. And calm is cool. So Will was saying that to Candy. Being in the flow feels secure. There's a real wisdom there because it is. When
Yeah.
you're in the flow, it really does feel like more secure. And Candy said she's proud of herself. I am proud of myself too.
Mhm.
And I think that's such an important part of the process. If we can be in that place where we say, for today, I'm doing the best I can, and know that that's okay. And it's not necessarily going to look like what we thought our best was before. So we have to stay tuned for that. So this creative light, I think, I think we're going to be using that in a different way than we have in the past. I've always thought of creative as being that you're creating something. But, creative light can be just opening up to some kind of creativity that's coming in that you haven't experienced before. And sometimes it's the creative way you live your life. Sometimes it's the creative way you find places to stop and be available. I mean, there's different kinds of creativity that we may be working with at this time. Do you find that at all, Leslie?
Well, yeah, especially when you were saying, if we're available, because, we talk about synchronous things happening, and if you're not available for that, you're so rush, 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 or busy, 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 or you're somewhere else, you may
Yeah.
miss that. And that's one of the beautiful things, I think, is a confirmation that, oh, yeah, look at how that happened. Isn't that amazing? How we just happened to be there at the right time. Boom. You know,
I love those synchronicities.
I do too.
I really look for them now. I work with the colors and ask the colors to set things up in a certain way for me. Or I release it and say, whatever's highest and best. And then I pay attention and say, how am I a part of the highest and best?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Rita says, it's as if there is a constant life current happening in our choice how to participate, sometimes restfully, other times actively. See, that I think is a huge part of it, is that we think that creativity has to be active. But I do my napitating, which is a combination of meditating and napping. I find a lot of creativity comes through there. A lot of answers come through there because I'm sort of in that place that I'm half asleep. I'm not totally deep into sleep, but things start coming up and I pay attention to that. and go, okay, what does that have to do with what's happening to me right now? So I think that's really important. So let's move on to
Well,
this is part of the month too.
I,
Did you have anything else?
I
Yeah, go
did.
ahead.
I did.
Okay.
I was looking at your um, stuff a little bit earlier, and you said what is it that remains as the emotions melt away? And I just
Yes.
wanted to address that just a teeny bit.
Yeah.
And I just realized this is what I felt as I was looking at it. First, relief,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then clarity, feeling of completion and well-being, greater understanding of yourself and other people involved in the overall situation, and a realization of the benefits. What are the
Yes.
benefits of
Yes.
me doing this work? And and the reward is our peace and our compassion that then we have to give,
I
not just
like that.
ourselves,
Peace and compassion.
compassion, yeah,
Yeah.
ourselves and then someone else as
Yeah.
well.
And that was really connected to the luminary that is for this month, because Core Crucible can take those things into the center of it that we're releasing and transform it into usable energy.
Mhm.
And so it's what remains as the emotions can melt away. I had an experience of that where it was very beautiful. It was part after or during a concert that I was at, and it just so lovingly melted away. And if we think it's always hard work, it isn't necessarily hard work to let things go. So let's just go back to the turquoise for a minute. Yeah. And, in here, it was as you live your best life, feel the satisfaction with every move toward your highest and best. That was something that came through at the beginning of the month, was that best life is something that we want to know how it feels when we're in our best life. And I would say what Rita said is part of it, because when you're in the flow, it feels like you're in your best life.
Mhm.
And then you might say, okay, when I'm in that flow, what does my life look like? Is it different than when I have stepped out of that? And when you've stepped out of that, it doesn't feel like you're you. It kind of feels like you're not there. And then the other thing is, there's something more you are moving into that takes you toward your highest and best. What about that, Leslie? Do you feel that in you, that there's something more that's coming in?
Yeah, and I realize I say that here and there a lot now for the last couple of years, but the thing is, it's a dynamic that keeps happening, and it keeps beckoning me forward. It's almost like the life force energy keeps moving, 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 and it carries me along with it and says, okay, now, what is your intention, or what do you feel, or all these questions that I can ask myself and come up with, well, how do I feel? Where am I at in my walk? Am I focusing on being in the moment, in the current of the flow, and yeah, it's a good practice for me. I'm almost looking at mine as a practice, like it. Okay, all right, we're moving on, keep moving, honey. And I think that maybe I don't know if that's for everybody, but sometimes I would, in the past, I've had times when I've just wanted to retreat, and it's like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to, I'm done, kind of thing. And it's not really I'm done forever. It's like I'm done for right now. But I always get that little prompt of saying, yeah, well, this might be a good reflection time, but that too is dynamic. So, we're always moving.
Well, you and I are different, and we've known that for a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
And I have a very active side. And what I'm seeing that's coming up now is this whole thing of how I lived my life. When things got in a place I didn't know how to deal with them or something, I just moved on. I didn't bring myself back and get into the quiet. Once in a while I would, and especially when I was in the training, I would do that. But when it got into things where I was really busy, it was just like, well, I don't know how to deal with this, so I'm moving on. So, and that isn't necessarily the way to find out what's there and then resolve it so it doesn't go deep. So I get to do that now since I went on. Now I have to go back and
We've come a long way, and we're learning as we go, right?
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Oh, Ofa's here too. It's really nice to see you here, Ofa. All right, so now we have this additional card. So this, you kind of answered this about what remains as the emotions melt away. It really allows for us to see what is there. When the emotions melt away, then we can actually see what is there. And I think that that is really important. Don't miss that step, because that is where you find out who you are as you're evolving. Because we're all changing our frequency, we're all evolving into what is next for humans, but also specifically for us. And that is an important part of the process. So we don't want to miss that part. And I love the turquoise in there, don't you? Just that. And it's so interesting that turquoise was the color that came up for the month, and now it's and you said, Leslie, I'd forgotten this, but this is the one that came up for the energy focus the week last week.
Yes.
So
Twice
this
now.
one, yeah, so
Yeah.
let's take advantage of this. And if you don't have the color cards or the luminaries, that you can find them on the website. And if you go into transformationaltools.com, if you just look at the menu, you can go to where the oracle cards are, and you can find that. And you can find the color cards and the luminaries together in one place. You can buy them together. So they are really, really important. Oh, look at this. Candy says that card brings the energy of being reborn to me. Whoa. I haven't thought of that, but that really, really feels good. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much light in there, and so much, an intensive kind of rebirth or birth. Yeah.
And when we first were looking at this one, and when Lorinda and I first got this, I felt the energy was so strong. And now I feel the energy is so compassionate. It's really has shifted in how I feel the energy. So it's lovely. Okay, before we go to individual cards, picking cards for you, what I want to do is remind you that you can join our group called the Vortal. It's a group where you can become part of it and get to know other people. And usually I do a presentation the first Sunday of the month. I'm pushing that off to the 8th because a lot of people are going to be involved in what this weekend brings with family and friends and that sort of thing. And I want us to be able to be in that time where it's easy for people to come together. And then we get to know our friends in the Vortal better. So please take advantage of that. And I think I have a, let's see, here it is. So there's where it's going along the bottom there. The Vortal, and you can subscribe, and it's transformationaltools.com/the hyphen Vortal. So, and you can find that also in the menu. And this is it's a wonderful experiment that we're doing, and we're learning more and more how to be a community. And the leadership group is doing work about how to be better in terms of how we communicate. And we'll be bringing that to the Vortal as well, because it's such an important way to see what this new world can be about. I just had a nice phone call with an old friend from high school. And as we got in there, it kind of veered into a little bit into politics. And then she says, oops, let's not go there. And I thought, isn't that too bad? But I didn't, we hadn't talked for a long time. So we were doing catch up. But I thought, isn't it too bad that we can't just sit down and have a conversation and agree to disagree or learn from each other or whatever that is, instead of avoiding the conversations. So let's see. We will also, this coming month in September, I'm getting all the information into one place, and it'll be coming out in the newsletter. But I'm doing the Journal with Your Knowing Self once a month. And that is another really good place to find out what's happening inside of you and what it is that you can do. So let's just, I'm going to write down some names. Or did you get the names, Leslie?
I was just kind of trying to do that.
Okay.
I do have some of them, but I'm going to make sure I get everybody.
Be sure you get Ofa in there, and Candy and Rita.
Candy, Rita.
And
Will.
we got Will. Oh, Grace is here too. Yeah.
All right. That's what I got so
far. Okay, good. So who would you like to start with?
Will. He was the first one.
All right. So I'm going to pick a color card for Will, and then you check in and see if he needs a luminary as well. We have a fairly small group, so we can probably do 2 cards for each of you. I love it. It's the Strength in Violet Purple. So, and in the book, a color card book, it calls it violet. So it's kind of a combination of the attributes of purple and the attributes of violet, because violet is actually, to me, a higher frequency. And but both of these, violet and purple, have a connection with yellow. And it's one of the things that I'm going to address in the presentation to the Vortal a week from Sunday. And that is to take people through the process, the protocol that we use in color therapy that uses the purple and the yellow, because I think we really need that in this time. The purple is about your intuition, your knowingness, your understanding of who you are in a higher way. And then the yellow is more about how do I see myself and how do other people see me? And then the question that comes when you bring the two together is, am I living in the outside world as the being that I am at a soul level? And so this is a really important combination. So in the strength of that, Will, it seems to me that what you're doing is moving into a beautiful combination of using the yellow and the purple together, and bringing that into all of the things that you're doing. So that really is an amazing card for you for this week. And that week starts today, by the way.
Well, the luminary that goes with that is right on with the purple. Okay. It is ecstasy.
I think he's gotten that ecstasy more than anybody else.
So. Yeah, this is a gorgeous card. It is here.
I just love ecstasy. I just love ecstasy. Yeah. So you go ahead and see what you think this means.
Yeah, well, it says something to consider. The emotion soaked code of yesterday has been embraced and transformed. The hope for magnificence of tomorrow is now. Open the floodgates of divine and human passion. Burst forth as a fully resonant song of ecstasy. And it's saying, allow all your brightest colors to flow, all your senses to evolve in order to fully experience an awakening world around you. And yeah, at one section here it says, choose me even when there is
That's the
no,
one I was looking for.
yeah, choose me especially when there seems no reason to be present, and choose me because you can. And choose me because I bring out what lies dormant within your being. And experience me as a burst of flavor, presence ignited. You can be that. And I, knowing this kind of energy, it's like um, ready, set, go. Feel it all, be in this moment, and just love this moment that you're in, and express it. And boy, yeah, this is a great one for him.
And especially, like it says, when we're in the midst of these huge shifts, and all you want to do is put the blanket over your head and go away. And it's basically, oh no, let it come. Let your feelings be felt. Let all of your ability to feel be present, because that's part of the shift that's going on here. And it's going to help you release a lot of the old stuff and then realize what's under that, which is this amazing process of being able to be fully present with everything that being in human form gives to us, as well as everything that comes in through our soul. What a magnificent way to live.
Yeah, it's a great combo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Will, for bringing that energy in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's next?
Rita.
All right, I'm going to pick a luminary for her. You want to pick a color card?
Sure.
All right, Rita, where are you? Oh, I love it. Rita, you're in the crystalline energy. I just love that. This is such a high frequency. And notice the beautiful magenta in there. That's all of this compassion. There's pink in there. That's really honoring that really soft side of us, that child within us, allowing that child to play and be present in this beautiful crystalline energy. And then there's also this very light turquoise, and that turquoise is another way of being in the flow. And sometimes you may not feel like you can be in the flow when you've got this really high frequency, but that's the new way. And it may take us a while to get used to it, but you can do that, Rita. You can be in the flow in the next evolution of who you are. Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. And the color card I got is Strength in White.
Oh boy, are you in a powerful place?
Yeah,
Wow.
there's so much white in that other card as well. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just saying that you are really in connection with that beautiful uh, divine source energy. And
Isn't that true? Wow.
yeah, pure, strong, and unconditionally loving. Yeah.
And the other thing that seems to me is that she also has the balance of the black and the white.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the grounding and the sense of being in touch with the feminine energy, and it's also then allowing yourself to expand out into the universes and be in touch with your masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's a lot with crystalline. I mean, because crystalline will take you out there. It's a wonderful place to be, because talk about being in the flow.
Oh,
Definitely.
all right. Who do we have next? And I'll pick a color card.
Ofa.
Oh God. Okay, Ofa. But you are in the strength of brown. And that strength of brown, when I see this color of brown, it reminds me of being on my grandfather and grandmother's farm and being out on where the soil is being tilled. And when it's really nice soil, your toes go into that and you can just feel the energy of Mother Earth coming up through you. And I didn't know a lot about that at the time when I was a kid, but I just knew it felt good. I really liked it. And so just think of it this way, Ofa, that you are in that strength of the earth, which is nurturing and safe and connected, so that you are grounded here. And yet at the same time, you can open up it exponentially and still be present in your life. So, Leslie, do you get anything for her from or him? Oprah, yeah, it's Oprah. It is Oprah anyway, just Oprah. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I got to, is just being that very connected to the earth and grounding energy and nurturing energy,
Yeah.
because we really get nurtured and nourished from being outside and being in nature. And yeah, that's
You know what, Ofa, I feel this for you, that you are very nurturing. And when the strength of brown comes in, it also means that you love animals and they love you. They will be likely to feel free to come up to you, where with somebody else they might be afraid. So,
right. So her luminary is crown.
oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And I really got, we it's called like the crown of awakening, and I really got strongly that this is a celebration for how far you've come,
Yes, yes, yes.
and to recognition for that. And it's asking you to recognize that you've done a lot of work, and that you are awakening, and um, you can wear that crown. It's kind of like joining in all the rest of us that are wearing crowns, and saying, yeah, I did, and I have done that, and I'm allowing that in my life, and I am going to recognize myself for what I did and what I have done and what I continue to do, that I'm on this loving path, this compassionate path. And the world, it says the world has come of age. It's ready for more of this energy. And so we're the ones that carry that. And that's you. And that's celebrating you today.
It's ready for you, Ofa. It's ready for you to say, yes, I will accept the crown. When we hear crown, we think, oh, that's standing above everybody else. That's not what this crown is. This is a crown of awakening. This is a crown of realizing that you have been in a process of awakening for some time. And I'm not surprised that the animals love you. Yeah, the natural world loves you. And this is such a good combination, because when you can be that connected to the natural world and you could be expanding like crazy at the same time, that's a wonderful combination. And let's see, I think Ofa had a question about yeah. What happens is everything that we do on there, we do have a recording of it, except when we do a journal with your knowing self, because it's usually very personal kinds of stuff, and not everybody wants to have that shared, but it's only shared with the people in the Vortal. So yes, we can make sure that you can work with the time frame. And if you let us know what time frame in Pacific time would be best for you, we'll just set up some things so that you can get there in person as well, because we do want people to be there to get to know other people in person.
Yeah.
All right. Who do we have next?
Candy B.
Okay. And so I'm doing a color card, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Candy. Oh, I love this. Candy, you have the strength in pink. And what I'm getting is that this was an important color for you as a kid. Um, Not everybody likes pink, but this one was really important. And it's just a loving, loving energy. And you are in the strength of that. And it's on the card, it says innocent, trusting, and loving. And that really says it all. I mean, and what I find with pink is when you have the strength in pink, you can be with people who are afraid and want to pull in, and they will begin to open up because they feel safe with you. So you really have the ability to help people feel safe.
Mm, cool. Well, it's a good thing she has pink because it's in Dolphin Song. And Dolphin Song is such a wonderful, wonderful one.
And look at the pink in the center of that.
Mhm, mhm. I want to keep turning it around because it's like a wheel to me. If I can ever get it back here. There we go. So I'm getting there right now here.
So let me find it and I'll hold it for you. So
you can hold it up for me.
Let me find it. I love this one. The dolphins have such wonderful energy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that in there. See that beautiful pink and all of those lovely, the white shapes in there are so soft. And anyway, sorry, go ahead.
The turquoise reminds me of water, but in its being in the card right there, along with the pink. Remember, turquoise is a lot about saying to your life, saying yes, yes, yes to my life's purpose. And as playful and dynamic as the dolphins are, they really bring this lovely swirling energy to you. It's affirmation of you for you, and it's resonation and celebration. Those are the three things that it's bringing to you this week. So affirmation for where you've been, what you've been doing, resonating with, yes, you are flowing, because boy, do dolphins love to flow with the water and go with it, and just be so in sync with it that they bring that wonderful, moment to moment energy. And also celebration. So the pink is in there surrounding, I see the pink surrounding the little dolphin pod in the middle, those that are in the center, and the bubbles are the kind of bubbles that they're blowing. It's a time to, celebrate in ways that bring you happiness, and to really focus on that joy and that happiness of being in this kind of energy right now. That's going to get you a long ways in when things come up and go, oh, I'm going to challenge you. And you can just say, well, I'll just, swim right through this, and I'll be flowing, and I will use my pink. It's such a beautiful little color, I say little because to me, it translates to my little kid, but it's like, it's such a sweet, loving color. So,
Leslie, that's such an important point that you made. When things get tough, just go swim with the dolphins.
yeah.
They'll bring you back into the flow. So, how cool is that? The other thing that I wanted to bring up is, in the book, there's a sort of meditation, and Peter was speaking to a group and it's a very large group of people some were present and some were virtual. And I did the meditation, which I've never done to that kind of a group because a lot of them were engineers. And part of it in my meditation was in what Dolphin Song had: smell the foam of the sea, be drawn into its peace, allow the constancies of the wave to remind you of the eternal. Because what my job was to help people get to the place where they were relaxed enough that they'd let go of their agenda and they could be fully present for the presentation. So that was really fun. And I was really glad that I remembered that part of Dolphin Song.
Wow. Beautiful. Great card for this week.
Yes.
All right.
So did we do Grace yet?
No, she's next.
Okay. So
I'm doing color card.
You're doing color card. Okay. I'm going all over the place today. That's all right. Oh, Grace, this is so you. This one is called now I can't think of the name of it.
Illumination.
Illumination. And I feel that when I'm around you, Grace, that you just send out light and love, and you illuminate the world around you and probably the world beyond you by a whole bunch. And what I'm feeling right now is that this is a reminder for you, because it's easy when things get too busy to forget that we have this place we can be where we can send out this light that is here for ourselves and for everybody else. So this week, really remind yourself to send out that light.
But just beautiful, beautiful colors, and what a great balance.
Yes.
Balance, symmetry, just wow. This is such a great card. And I drew the Strength in Brown for you. Again, connecting with Earth. And I'm getting it in this one, it's more of like a balance. Thank you.
Yeah.
That for you, of Earth and sky. It's like maybe, puttering with flowers, or whatever you do to connect to Earth energy, and then bringing in that sky, the beautiful light blue that goes with that, and just remembering it's like continuing. It's the Earth doesn't sit in a void that has no sky to us from where we're looking at it. So it's covered with this beautiful sky energy as well. So that's really expansive to me. So it's saying, help the Earth expand your view.
Absolutely. Oh, and Grace, you're saying that you're singing a set. Does that mean you are part of your singing group, or are you singing on your own? Just put something in the chat about that. Because I think singing is such an important part of music, and sound and singing are so important in the time that we're in. So be sure and just let that light shine when you're singing, because the song itself will radiate out, but it will also be that your light is radiating out as well. All right. Well, I think that is it, right, for this, for today?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming, and please come back again, and remember to go and look up the Vortal on transformationaltools.com, and you'll see it in the menu, so you can go right to the part that talks about it. And come join us. I mean, the more that we have of you beautiful people there, the more that everybody gets out of being a part of the Vortal. So we love you, and we appreciate you, and we wish you just a really wonderful week. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.